My name is Fuchs. I'm one of the contributors to the special issue of Information, Communication and Society on Sustainable Development and ICTs that was edited by Robert Bichler, Gunilla Bradley and Wolfgang Hofkirchner. And in my contribution, I'm grounding the notion of a participatory, cooperative and sustainable information society. So what do I mean by this? A participatory information society means that people are included in the ownership, the decision-making processes and the control of information technologies and information systems such as the Internet. And this is the foundation for a substitution or tendential substitution of processes of competition by cooperation, where people share information and technologies and data and knowledge and so on, and produce new realities together. And if such systems can be more established, then I'm confident that the short-term, medium-term and long-term effects will be quite positive for society. So that's the aspect of sustainability. And for me, there are several aspects of such a participatory, cooperative and sustainable information society: ecological, technological, economic, political and cultural aspects. And I argue in my paper that all of these dimensions are interconnected. Therefore, I speak of a dialectical approach, and I oppose reductionistic approaches where mainly one of these dimensions is stressed, and multidimensional dualistic approaches where all of these dimensions are acknowledged but are not related to each other. So I think it's interesting that these dimensions always interact, and in these interaction processes, I think that especially economic processes shape all other processes or influence a certain pressure on all other dimensions. Let me give you an example for an unsustainable information system. Google. Google is the world's largest internet corporation. It's the 155th largest corporation in the world according to the Forbes 2000 list of companies. Its annual profit is more than 4 billion US dollars. Its capital assets are more than 31 billion US dollars. And 18 actors control 98.8% of the common stock of Google, whereas the 20,000 employees and the 500 or more million Google users don't control any stock. So in which dimension is it unsustainable? In the ecological dimension, Google fosters mobile internet applications that are used on cell phones. And cell phones, just like other ICTs, have a very short lifetime. They are thrown away after 2 or a maximum of 3 years, and then you generally buy a new mobile phone. And this causes or increases the problem of electronic waste. In concerning technology, Google controls technological standards that are kept secret. So the PageRank algorithm is a very productive and high quality algorithm that allows Google to exert a certain monopoly within the market of search engines. So Google has sort of built an economic monopoly in the internet search engine domain. It controls approximately 80% of all searches that are being conducted, and it also stores a lot of personal data about its users. On the one hand, all the searches that you conduct, they are stored, but if you register with some of the several hundred Google applications, then also other personal data is stored, and it's converted into money profit because Google assesses and sells this data to third-party advertising clients. So it converts your personal data and usage behavior into capital. Therefore, I have in other publications, based on Taylor-Smyth's notion of the audience commodity, also spoken of the internet prosumer or producage commodity and the exploitation of this sort of commodity. So the user here becomes a commodity and becomes commodified. In political terms, the problem with Google is data surveillance and this, the privacy threatening implications of data surveillance. So all of these personal data and data on usage behavior that are being collected about users allow building large profiles that allow Google to know a whole lot of your private activities and your private interests. Culture is about how we perceive reality, how we give meaning to reality, and Google shapes the way its users think about the world and conceive reality. So for many people, what they can't find on Google simply does not exist. But that something is not on Google or does not have high priority on Google does not mean that it's not meaningful or important for people or that it does not exist. So for me, these are unsustainable dimensions of Google, and I think it's related to an economic issue. It's related to the fact that Google is a corporation that engages in capital accumulation. And certainly there would be alternatives, but this would require to build alternative, non-commercial, non-profit internet platforms and sort of an commons-based alternative internet. And then alternative internet and alternative internet platforms, in my opinion, have to be or are non-commercial, non-profit oriented and based on grassroots model. So if such models are and organizational forms are advanced, then this could encourage on the ecological level the reuse of mobile phones, computers, and so on. And on the technological domain, this would mean the open technological standards, advancing open source technologies, open source algorithms, and so on. So think about what would happen if the Google PageRank algorithm would be dealt with as an open source and would be released into the public domain. This would be a different model than a corporate control of these technologies. In terms of economic internet monopolies, I think antitrust regulation is needed, and one can also think about new ownership models. So imagine, for example, what would happen if the Wikipedia model of organizing an internet platform would be applied to search engines, social networking platforms, and other internet and Web 2.0 platforms. So clearly then non-profit, non-commercial alternatives that are more grassroots and based on knowledge as a common good could emerge. Important at the political level, data surveillance for economic ends and also for political ends is a large problem. I think one solution here could be that nation states pass regulations that require internet platforms to pass opt-in solutions and not opt-out solutions to privacy. Or another idea would be to more enforce a decentralized storage of information on the internet, so that you store your personal data and don't transmit it to a centralized server that is controlled by a company. And in terms of culture, I think a multiplication of information sources is needed, and the advancement of alternative public spheres, and this could also be enforced and advanced if state subsidies would be given to non-commercial internet, open source, open content, and open access projects. There is another article in this special issue that deals with Sustainable Information Society in a very fundamental way. It's the article by Lorenz Hilty and Thomas Rudi, who speak of a sustainability dilemma And they define this sustainability dilemma as the impossibility of extending the present consumption patterns of the industrialized countries to all parts of the world without putting a great burden on future generations.